The change is the protection, and the protection is the change.
Welcome to Tarot Talks this morning, where we discover more about ourselves through channeled dialogue with tarot cards. My name is Annalise, and this is my brilliant friend, Karin.
Yeah, and for me, it's the evening, so good evening, because I'm in Germany. Annalise is in the States.
That's right.
And today we're channeling the action, Annalise, and the waiting. So we're going to have this dialogue, the action versus the waiting. And without further ado and waiting, let's start.
All right. Okay. Our first pull for action. Woohoo! 6 of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
This, for me, speaks to using what you've got. And when we have resources at our fingertips and under our feet and all around us, and if they're there and we're not using it, that's stagnant energy. So when it comes to taking action, we are aware of what we have and we use what we've got.
We have the Tower. So as the waiting, I'm afraid to say that it's never a good idea. The Tower is this card that reminds us of there will be this moment where God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to just destroy our world, for whatever that means, to push us out of the comfort zone, to do something better, to become more of ourselves. And notice that I'm not saying that we need to become better, but we are pushed towards something better. And we are pushed to be more ourselves. So not even a better version of ourselves, because this is just spiritual bypassing talk. It's more about being more ourselves as the human being our soul wanted to incarnate as. And when we wait, well, this is going to happen. We are just going to be pushed outside of the comfort zone, and this might not be the best feeling we have.
Okay. And we have more wands, 5 of Wands. So as the action, when we take what we have and we start to create something with it, to riff off the waiting and the Tower moment, we can use those Tower moments, those moments of waiting and what the Tower reveals to further build. It can point to where we need to take action. But 5 of Wands is really experimenting and not worrying about failing and trying and just keep continuing to put the heart out on that silver platter to offer our magic and our wisdom and our knowing and our joy to our acts of creation, even if we're dealing with blind faith.
You're well seated. Because the waiting with the 5 of Wands, so it's the same card, but it's a completely different meaning. So while the action is practicing without fear, as you said, without fear of failing, the 5 of Wands for the waiting will mean competition, will mean I am overwhelmed by what I suddenly have to do because I just waited too long.
And 5 of Cups. So 5 of Cups in this action-oriented space is really taking the time to acknowledge where we're coming from. Astrologically, almost all of us are doing that right now. So we're taking a history, an inventory of our past, we're making sense of where we've been, and we're extracting the gems and pearls and diamonds as we can, so that we can move forward with more self-centeredness, being more grounded in the self, oriented to the self versus the external world. So this card holds duality, but it leads us towards informed action, which is very powerful when supported by the emotional body.
Totally. But the waiting says, you know what? I'd rather wait because time is going to pass without me doing anything, right? I don't need to be eager to be an adult because I'm going to be an adult someday. So even I'm 54, so even with my 54 years, I could say, well, I don't want to be adulting yet. I will be adulting someday, and it might be me, the waiting, holding on to the past too much. And whoever saw the last dialogue will know that holding on to the past is never a good idea. We're going to put an info card here so that you can watch that video too.
All right. Okay, so taking action with the Three of Pentacles. Again, moving towards our foundations. And what are the elements that we are building our actions through and from? What is the foundational intention? Where does that come from? Do we have to evaluate our foundational intentions and iron out certain spaces and maybe clear out some beliefs so that we can move forward with more authenticity and integrity, so that what we build stands the test of time and the changing of landscapes physically, mentally, emotionally, etc.
Well, the waiting with the Six of Pentacles is like, well, I need to be balanced. So this is an important thing because for now, we've been talking about the waiting is not a good idea. Sometimes it might, but not as the best and the best solution. But sometimes it might make sense to take a step back and be balanced in this action rest, not the waiting, but the rest part of the waiting. I think that's quite important too.
Wow. Eight of Pentacles. Again, Eight in Pentacles, sitting deeper into the foundations and becoming deeply oriented with what is authentically you. And that resting in the waiting period nurtures this space. But we want to be cautious not to spend too much time resting, because time does keep moving. And so, yeah, to step into the space that is calling you forward is essentially what Eight of Pentacles is saying here. Step into the space scared, step into it unprepared, step into it with your hair in a mess, step into it without wearing any of your makeup. Just step into the space that is calling to you, because only then will the energy rush in to hold your feet up, to hold your glutes up, to hold your heart up, and to keep your mind generating these ideas that we're all craving and we all need.
And the waiting with the Ten of Cups reverse says, yes, that's exactly it. And we need to fall back into this sense of joy in ourselves. So if the waiting is coming from a place of fear, not a good idea. just do whatever you just said, without the makeup, without with the messy hair, without being prepared, without being ready. But if it's waiting because I need the rest, and because just resting right now, waiting for a second, gives me inner joy, real inner joy, then that's a good idea. But only then.
Mhm. Oh, and the Emperor. So as we take that, well, rest is important. So as we take that rest nurtured action, we find ourselves sitting in a place as the Emperor where we are confident, we are secure, and we're okay. We're okay with what is happening in and through the body, what is happening around the body, what we have created for ourselves, maybe our family or our community. There's a lot less preoccupation with what I'm not doing right or how I could be doing things better. This is really more about sitting into what is developing and what is arriving as a result of that empowered, confident action, and really taking our spots at the seat of the self.
Because the waiting can be so seductive. Just not doing anything can be so tempting. It's just because, well, our brain, I read somewhere that 70% of our CPU up here, so the energy that our brain is using at any moment in time, is used to stay in the status quo, is used to not change anything. So if waiting has been the thing that I've been doing for the last 5 minutes or the last 5 months or the last 5 years, this is where my brain wants me to stay. So this is the temptation of the devil. Just stay there. Don't move. Don't do anything.
Ah, sneaky devil.
Ugh.
Yeah, my gosh, what a trick. Okay. And we're finishing up here with the Seven of Swords. And while we can acknowledge, well, clearly there's a lot of magic here with the Seven of Swords. And there is a presence of shadow. And so as we do move forward, we do kind of have to don our swords or our little sheath, and step forward into the shadow, because as we create more light in our lives, we create more shadow. We become aware of more shadow in our lives. As we take steps forwards in our lives, we become aware of more shadow in our lives, because there is no light without shadow. There's no shadow without light. And we must be brave enough to venture out and towards both, because it is through acknowledging and embodying and being with both sides of our human equation, our human makeup, that we can really, really move in towards self-mastery and anchoring in our personal power and really actually changing our lives.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with the Page of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. There is absolutely no light without shadow, and vice versa. I would maybe even add, we don't need to be afraid of the shadow, because this again is it's just part of the light. It's not something different. It's the other side of the coin. It's the same coin. It's the same coin, right? So we can just balance with that. We can just hold the coin. We can hold the light, and we can hold the shadow at the same time, and be balanced, and be brave, and be ready or not, but just going ahead, not waiting. Bams.
Yeah. Bamps.
Okay, let's draw some oracle cards to help who's ever watching to do what we just discovered would be a good idea. Take inspired action wait only if it brings you joy, and do the rest part and the active part in the action itself.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's just one coin. So if you're wondering how to do that, we're drawing some cards now to see what can help you do that. Oh, I got 2.
I got 1 today.
What you got?
I got Luminous Warrior.
Ooh.
It's funny, I was talking with a friend about this yesterday.
Yeah?
Donning the warrior heart. Becoming the one, that, when you're hiking with the group, are you standing at the front of the pack? Are you standing at the back of the pack? Are you standing in the middle of the pack? And how do you orient your decision? And do you feel differently when you're standing at the front or when you're standing at the back? So the luminous warrior in this case speaks to me about blind trust in your destined capacity, your original makeup. The codes that brought you to this planet are the codes. And codes, I know maybe isn't quite the best word, but your ingrained purpose. I don't like that word either.
Your soul essence, that's what I like to call it.
Okay. Soul essence.
But
yeah.
It's just another word. You just pick one that resonates with you.
Yes. Exactly. Pick one that resonates with you.
I love how this card also shows that the coins and that there is light and dark in the same coin. And talking of coins, I have 2 cards that represent the same coin. So what is it? Change.
And
on the other hand, we have protection.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that beautiful? So imagine that you have this coin in your hand, you have this coin in your heart, you have this coin in your head, in your mind, in your thoughts. It's always the change is the protection, and the protection is the change. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yes. So cool.
Yes.
So I hope that helps. I hope that inspires everyone watching to just be brave.
Yeah. And the change, I love that came up here at the very end, because the change is hard. But as we make the change, I've lived this change into protection. So I've experienced the sensation of protection that emerges when we have stepped into something that is, supportive for the body in particular.
I love that, because we always talk about stepping outside of the comfort zone. But what we must remind ourselves of is that at the same time we're walking into something. We're not only stepping out and then we're suddenly in the rain. I'm stepping out of my apartment and suddenly I'm on the street. Well, I stepped onto the street. Right?
Yeah.
It might not feel as cozy and protective as my own 4 walls, as my own apartment, but there are the people I can meet, and there's the sun I can see, and there's the vibrant life that I live in a big city.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that you said that. So cool.
I love that. Brilliant. We step into.
Yeah, so we are always so excited about these tarot dialogues, these tarot talks. I hope you like it too. If so, please do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. Let us know how you felt about it. Let us know what you would like to have channeled next. And yeah, see you next time. Thank you so much for
See you next time.